Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dr. Strong, and today we're going to be talking about 10 healthy foods that are destroying your gut, and you need to stop eating number 3 immediately. So what we're going to go over is the 10 foods that are classified as healthy. At the end, I'm going to show you what to eat instead, so make sure that you stay around till then. But let's go ahead and let's dive into it. So the term healthy food is touted a lot, gluten-free, organic, all of these, but what do these actually mean, and what foods are actually causing you more harm than good? So with this, the food number 3 is the most shocking one, that when I tell you to stop eating it, and when I tell my patients to stop eating it, they think that I've lost my mind. So now, if you're new to this channel, my goal with these videos are to help as many people as possible overcome their chronic health conditions, because right now I am a practicing doctor and I work with tons of patients, and so part of this is to give my knowledge to as many people as possible so that you can overcome these, because you may not have somebody that is very healthy, or a doctor that's very proactive with their health in your community. And so that's the great thing about this, is that this allows me to share what I'm seeing with everybody. And so with this, 80% of your immune system lives in your gut, and I see so many complications or so many health conditions that are fixed by just addressing gut health. I tell people all the time, if you brought me 100 patients and said you have one tool to fix as many of these people as possible, it would be addressing their diet, addressing their gut health, and that's why I'm so passionate about this. So the problem is that these foods that we're going to go over today, they're causing most of the gut damage, and the ones that these are some of the ones that we've been told are healthy for us. Now, this isn't the case for everybody. Some people can tolerate these better and some can't. For example, I see patients that have oxalate sensitivities, that have peanut allergies, that have nut allergies, but none of them are the same. Some of them have different things that they're intolerant to, and other ones are just fine with those, especially like when it comes to nightshades or certain types of starches, or when we talk about like citrus fruits. There are so many aspects to this, but by the end of this video, hopefully you're going to understand how to avoid these triggers, how to identify them, and come up with a game plan so that you can live your life and not be in so much pain. So healthy food number 1 is Greek yogurt. So that's the ultimate gut health superfood, is what they say, Greek yogurt. Now, why it's marketed as healthy is because of probiotics, protein, calcium. It's supposed to heal your gut, right? Well, the gut destroying truth is that most commercial Greek yogurts are pasteurized, which kills all of the beneficial bacteria. So it really doesn't have any of these bifido and lactobacillus that are beneficial for your gut. Then they add back a few strains of probiotics that can't survive your stomach acid. But here's the real problem. The dairy proteins casein and whey are inflammatory for most people. This is why you see a lot of people are lactose intolerant, or they have to take digestive enzymes when they eat dairy, because it's causing so many issues. What it's doing in your gut is that the casein can trigger an immune response similar to gluten. So it's comparable to like celiac disease, causing intestinal inflammation and increased intestinal permeability, aka leaky gut. See it all the time. The high sugar content in flavored varieties feeds harmful bacteria and yeast overgrowth. We see Candida infections, especially in women that are really stressed out with heavy antibiotic use all the time, especially in these younger women. And they have symptoms of neuropathy, and that's why a lot of them reach out to me, but they actually don't have neuropathy, they have a chronic inflammatory problem. So a patient story is that I had a patient who had chronic bloating and joint pain, and she was eating Greek yogurt every morning thinking she was being healthy. Within 2 weeks of eliminating it, her symptoms were 80% better, so just a simple diet change. Now, what can you eat instead? Because I know that's the biggest question everybody has, is that if you tolerate dairy, choose raw grass-fed kefir. If not, try coconut yogurt with live cultures or fermented vegetables. Those are things that you can substitute. Coconut yogurt is pretty good if you like the coconut flavor. If you don't like it, then I would stay away from it. Otherwise, you need to look at doing something else that has high protein, doing some sort of meat in the morning, eggs, something like that. Now, I just did a video about this, measuring my blood sugar responses to whole grain breads, or what we classify as healthy breads. And now, this food is found on, or this food is one of the foundational foods on the food pyramid. And why it's marketed as healthy is because it has fiber, B vitamins, heart healthy whole grains, which I think is ridiculous. And then the gut destroying truth is that modern wheat contains a protein called gliadin that increases intestinal permeability in everyone, not just people with celiac disease. It literally opens up tight junctions in your intestinal wall. And this is how autoimmune issues typically come about. What it's doing in your gut is that every time you eat wheat, you're creating microscopic holes in your gut lining. This allows undigested food particles, toxins, and bacteria to leak in your bloodstream, triggering systemic inflammation and autoimmune reactions. The shocking research shows that studies of gliadin increase zonulin production, and that's a protein that it regulates intestinal permeability. Now, in all humans, this is all humans, not just the ones with autoimmune reactions. So the research is also showing that, because we're so stressed out and then we add this inflammation on top of it through dietary constituents, that it's just creating this exponential effect of why more and more people are getting autoimmune issues and chronic inflammation. So what do you eat instead? If you must eat bread, try true sourdough fermented for 24 hours, or better yet, switch to lettuce wraps or cauliflower-based alternatives. So the sourdough, when we did my blood sugar testing, it actually was the lowest one. We did Ezekiel bread and then we did white bread, which was terrible. So those are things that you can try instead of the whole wheat bread. So healthy food number 3 that gets touted a lot is that, and this one shocks the most for people, is green smoothies. Why it's marketed as healthy is because it's packed with fruits, vegetables, and antioxidants in its liquid nutrition, right? But the gut destroying truth is that smoothies are a gut health disaster for multiple reasons. First, the blending process breaks down the fiber, causing rapid sugar absorption and blood sugar spikes. Second, you're consuming massive amounts of fructose that feed harmful bacteria, so they feed off that simple sugar. And what it's doing in your gut is the high fructose content promotes SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and Candida overgrowth. The lack of proper fiber structure means you're missing the prebiotic benefits. Plus, many people add inflammatory ingredients like conventional dairy or protein powders with artificial additives. The hidden danger with this is that raw spinach and kale contain oxalates. Like I said, I had this patient who she was highly sensitive to oxalates, and it was the reason why she had chronic neuropathy. She was a very young woman. And these damage your gut lining when consumed in large quantities. That daily green smoothie could be contributing to kidney stones and gut inflammation. So I had a patient and she was doing smoothies. She was doing them with spinach and almonds, I believe, thinking that she was being incredibly healthy. She had chronic bloating, sugar cravings, and fatigue, neuropathy all over. And when we eliminated these smoothies and had her eat whole fruits and vegetables instead, her energy skyrocketed, bloating disappeared, she lost weight, she didn't have the neuropathy symptoms anymore. So what do you eat instead? Eat your fruits and vegetables whole. It'll fill you up a lot more, trust me. And if you want to drink, try vegetable juice with minimum fruit, or better yet, just eat the actual vegetables. Okay, I know that can be hard on the go, so you just have to pick the lesser of the evils. And I know that there's a lot with this, but just stay on till the end and I'll have a plan for you. So healthy food number 4 is granola, and this is one that got me because I was getting gas and bloating all the time, and I love granola, but it was causing a huge issue with my gut. Now, it's marked as healthy because it's got oats, nuts, seeds, and natural ingredients and no processed junk. At least that's what most of them say. But the gut-destroying truth is that most granola is loaded with inflammatory oils like canola, which is horrible for myself, or sunflower oil, plus hidden sugars. The oats are often contaminated with glyphosate, which we all know what that is, or at least if you don't, look it up, a herbicide that destroys beneficial gut bacteria. So what it's doing in your gut is that the inflammatory oils cause intestinal inflammation, while the glyphosate acts like an antibiotic in your gut, killing off beneficial bacteria and allowing harmful bacteria to overgrow. What you should do instead is make your own coconut oil, raw nuts, and minimal natural sweeteners, or skip breakfast cereal altogether and have eggs with vegetables. Okay? Kombucha is number 5. Now, this is something that is mass market. I see it everywhere. The trending probiotic drink. Why it's marketed as healthy is because it has probiotics fermented and supports gut health. The truth is that commercial kombucha is often pasteurized, like we said, with the dairy products or the Greek yogurt. It's also high in sugar and can contain harmful bacteria or mold if not properly fermented. So this is why we see these issues with the food industry. It's always better if you can make your own food, but I understand that that's not a viable option for most. So what's it doing to your gut is that the high sugar content can feed Candida and harmful bacteria. Some people with SIBO actually get worse from kombucha. So if you feel worse after you drink it, you could have SIBO because it can contribute to bacterial overgrowth. The quality problem is that many commercial brands are more sugar water than actual fermented beverage, so they dilute this down because that increases their profit margin. And what you can eat instead, if you want probiotics, try sauerkraut, kimchi, or a high quality probiotic supplement. So some good tips there. Now, number 6 is protein bars. So the convenient health food, right? It's high protein, convenient, often labeled as natural and organic. How much of that is true? We don't know. We don't know you could probably find the regulations on those about what percentage. It may be like it has to be 1% organic to put organic on it. But the gut destroying truth is that most protein bars are highly processed foods loaded with inflammatory ingredients, artificial sweeteners, and gut disrupting additives. What it's doing to your gut is that these artificial sweeteners like sucralose and aspartame alter your gut microbiome, reducing beneficial bacteria. The processed proteins are hard to digest and can cause intestinal inflammation. The fiber trap with these is that many synthetic fibers can cause digestive distress and don't provide the same benefits as natural fiber from whole foods. What you need to do instead is do a handful of nuts with some fruit, or make your own energy balls with dates, nuts, and coconut. I've tried dates to see if it actually spikes blood sugar, and it doesn't, which is amazing, like medjool dates. So that's something that you can use as a sweetener, a natural sweetener that won't spike your blood sugar. It may, but most of the time I don't see that it does. Number 7 is agave nectar, the natural sweetener. Why it's marketed as healthy is because natural, low glycemic index and better than sugar. The problem is that agave is 90% fructose, and that higher than high fructose corn syrup, which is highly processed and anything but natural. So what it's doing to your gut is the high fructose feeds the harmful bacteria, yeast, and promotes SIBO, and can cause non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It disrupts your gut microbiome imbalance. The metabolic damage, unlike glucose, is that fructose bypasses the normal metabolic regulation and goes straight to your liver, causing inflammation and metabolic dysfunction. I don't know how many diabetics I see in chronic kidney disease or they have some sort of liver disease, but it's essential that you understand these mechanisms to prevent this from happening. So what you need to do to eat instead is raw honey in small amounts, pure maple syrup, or better yet, train your taste buds to enjoy less sweeteners overall. After about 2 to 3 weeks, we see people get rid of the cravings. Vegetable oils. I know you've probably heard about this. I have found out that canola oil, when I eat something, and especially when I go out, just destroys my gut. It's supposed to be heart healthy, unsaturated fats recommended by health organizations, but these oils are highly processed, inflammatory, and unstable. They're extracted using chemical solvents and high heat, creating toxic compounds. So what it's doing to your gut is that these oils promote intestinal inflammation and disrupt the gut barrier function and alter your gut microbiome. They're also high in omega-6 fatty acids, which promote inflammation when consumed in excess. The hidden sources are that these oils are almost in all processed foods, restaurant foods, and even healthy foods. I can tell if a restaurant is using canola oil because I will get so bloated and gassy after I eat their food. if they use canola oil. So what to do instead: use coconut, olive, and avocado oil, grass-fed butter, or ghee for cooking. So use these alternatives, and there are different temperatures that you can use for those. I did make a video on that, so you can go check that out about which ones to use for what you're doing. Then healthy food number 9 is quinoa, and this comes as a surprise for me as well. But it's supposed to be a complete protein, gluten-free, and ancient grain. The problem is that it contains saponins, which are natural compounds that can damage your intestinal lining. It's also high in lectins, which can contribute to leaky gut. And what it's doing to your gut is that these saponins are soap-like compounds that create holes in cell membranes, including your gut lining. And many people experience digestive distress from quinoa without realizing it's the cause, because most people have this healthy thought process when it. The prep problem is most people don't prepare it properly by soaking and rinsing, which removes some of the harmful compounds. So a lot of the times you have to do this with certain grains or ancient grains and rice and legumes, because this takes off a lot of those lectins and saponins. What you need to do to eat instead is well-prepared white rice, cauliflower rice, or properly soaked and cooked quinoa if you tolerate it well. But if you notice some gas bloating issues, then obviously you want to stay away from it. Then healthy food number 10 is probiotic supplements. Number 10, most probiotic supplements, the gut cure-all, right? And I see a lot of people doing these in the wrong order. I just had a consult last week where we were talking about that they had been trying them, but they weren't really getting better. And the problem is that they weren't doing them in the right order. There's a stage when you want to start putting these back in, but if you still have leaky gut or SIBO, it's not really going to fix the problem. So it's marketed because there are billions of beneficial bacteria to heal your gut, but most probiotic supplements are poorly made and contain strains that can't survive stomach acid or actually make certain gut conditions worse. What it's doing to your gut is, if you have SIBO, many probiotics can make it worse by adding more bacteria to an already overgrown small intestine. Poor quality supplements may contain a harmful bacteria or not contain the strains listed on the label. The one-size-fits-all problem: your gut microbiome is unique. Taking random probiotics without knowing what you need is like throwing darts at a blindfold. What to do instead? Focus on prebiotic foods to feed your existing beneficial bacteria, and they will sometimes take over and get rid of the harmful bacteria. But you want to have properly prepared vegetables, resistant starch from cold potatoes or rice, and fermented foods if you tolerate them well. You need to do more like an intuitive dieting, where if I eat this, I notice gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, headache, fatigue, whatever it may be. Then you know that there's something that just doesn't sit well with you. And then you need to eliminate those. That's why a food journal can really help. So here's what you need to understand is that the food industry has hijacked the term healthy. They have taken processed foods, add a few nutrients, remove something harmful, and market it as a health food. But your gut doesn't care about marketing. It responds to real whole foods that humans have used for thousands of years. Every time you eat these healthy processed foods, you're contributing to leaky gut, gut microbiome imbalance, chronic inflammation, autoimmune reactions, digestive disorders, and food sensitivities. Now, the solution isn't complicated. Just eat whole, real foods that your great-grandmother would recognize. Now, here's what you need to eat instead. So you want to try bone broth, because this heals and seals the gut lining. Make like a nice little soup with bone broth with like cilantro, put a meat in it. You could do like sweet potato glass noodles. There are many things that you can do. You can do fermented vegetables, which act as natural probiotics. That's your kimchi, sauerkraut. There's another one in there. And then grass-fed meats provide essential amino acids. I'm a huge proponent of amino acids. Wild-caught fish have anti-inflammatories, omega-3s. Organic vegetables, fibers and nutrients. Healthy fats, coconut oil, olive oil, avocados. And then properly prepared grains and legumes, if tolerated. You need to soak these ideally overnight and rinse them well. And that will give you a better chance at tolerating those. So I know that everybody's not perfect, and I run into this all the time, but the 80-20 rule is that you want to focus on whole, unprocessed foods 80% of the time. Your gut can handle occasional treats, but not daily assault from healthy processed foods. Listen to your body, pay attention to foods that make you feel and how they make you feel. Bloating, gas, fatigue, or mood changes after eating are signs that the food isn't working for you. You're an individual. Now, here's your challenge. Look in your kitchen, not your chicken, your kitchen. How many of these healthy gut destroyers do you have? I want you to pick one, just one, and eliminate it for the next 2 weeks. Pay attention to how you feel. If you're starting to feel better, then you know that that's causing the issue. Now, I've created a free gut healing food guide that shows you exactly what to eat. Just comment me below and we'll send that over to you, and we'll put the description in the link. In the comments, tell me which of these foods that shocked you the most. Were you eating any of these and thinking they were healthy? And your story might help somebody else realize what's been sabotaging their gut health. And if this video opened up your eyes to the truth about healthy foods, please share it with someone who needs to hear this message. We've been lied to about nutrition for way too long. I've just really come across this lately. But remember that healing your gut is the foundation of healing everything else in your body. When you fix your gut, you fix your immune system, your energy, your mood, and your overall health. My name is Dr. Strong. I'll see you in the next video, and we'll dive deeper into foods that actually heal your gut. So, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. My goal is to get to 10,000. We're getting really close, so I appreciate all of your support. I would love any feedback that you can about my videos if you've made it this far. And, hopefully, this gives you some relief and you can go about living your life in less pain. All right, everybody, have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.